this is Jamie Magridge. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. I actually cased my own self from a card I did previous, and I really liked it, so let's go ahead and recreate it. I'm going to be using soft suede ink. I have a few blends here. Flirty Flamingo combo and the light real red, and then I have the granny apple green combo. Okay, I have a 3/4 inch by 5.5 inch piece of vanilla. I have a 3 by 5 inch piece of vanilla, a 3 1/8 by 5 1/8 piece of flirty flamingo. That's gonna be mounted behind that one. I have a scrap of vanilla to stamp on. I have a card base, which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. Let's put these ones aside for a minute. I have some dimensionals. I'm going to be using basic rhinestones. I'm going to be using this embossing folder from the Greenery embossing folders. I'm using Forever Blossoms. I'm using this stamp here and then the sentiment. I'm using the matching dies, the cherry blossom dies. I'm using this one. And then the last thing I'm using, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little scalloped edge here. I'm using the largest of the scallop contour dies. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that first. We're going to take this piece, the 3/4 by 5.5 inch piece, and the scallop contour die, and we're going to line up the long edge of that and run it through our die cutting machine. And at the same time, since I'm going to take this embossing folder and my card base, and I'm going to put the embossing folder all the way over to the left side where the fold is, and I'm going to run that through my machine as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put you on pause. I'm going to die cut this, emboss this, and I will be right back. Okay, I've got that embossed. Place that aside. I've got this die cut. Place that aside for now. Now I'm going to bring in my soft suede ink. I'm going to ink up this stamp. It's a large stamp, so I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to go ahead and stamp it on the scrap paper. Perfect. Set it aside for a minute. I'm going to bring in this vanilla piece, the 3 by 5 inch piece. I'm going to ink up the stamp again. I really only need the top of it. I'm going to stamp the top up here, right at the top of this. These little flowers are going to hang off. Okay, I'm going to ink it up again. Stamp another one. This time I want the little flowers in there. It's going to overlap that one just a little bit. And I'm going to stamp one more down here. Okay, awesome. Close my ink for, oh no, I got one more thing to stamp. I'm going to stamp my sentiment. Stamp that now so I don't forget to, which is what happened the first time around. Okay, now we can assemble this card. Well, let's color it first, but first let's go ahead and assemble this part of it. I'm going to mount this piece that we stamped here onto this Flirty Flamingo layer. And it's just 1/8 of an inch larger, so it's going to have that 1/16 of an inch border. Okay, now I'm going to bring in this piece. And I'm going to put some glue on this here. And I'm going to line this up so that you're just seeing those scallops. Okay, and I'm going to need to trim a little bit, so I'm going to line it up so it's centered. Whoops, it slid. And then I'm going to bring in my snips. And I'm just going to trim off these little pieces that hang over here. See these little ones? Trimming those off so they don't show. Okay, I'm going to place that aside. And I bring this piece in. We're going to do our coloring. I need a block. I'm going to go ahead and use this one. I already did before. I'm going to start with the light Flirty Flamingo. And I'm going to color all of these flowers in with the light. There's lots of different ways to go about using these blends. For this one, I'm priming it with the light. Do all these little flowers. And you can use either side, either end, whichever you're more comfortable with. We're almost done with the pink, at least this layer. Flirty Flamingo light, okay. I'm going to come in with the Flirty Flamingo dark. I'm going to use the other end. And wherever there's dark hash marks in the drawing, in the stamp, I'm going to add some of this dark Flirty Flamingo. I don't want to let it dry too much, so I'm only going to do a couple flowers at a time with this one. I'm going to come back in with the light and blend it out. I'm just showing you it doesn't really matter which end you use. Okay, now I want a little bit more contrast in there, so I brought my light real red. I'm going to scribble on this block. You can do it on your work surface if it's, and I'm going to, for this I need the other end. I'm going to pick up some of this darker color and use the light to blend it out. It's not going to hurt your marker, because whatever color you're adding is going to just disappear. Now I'm going to use this darker color on these little ones, because you're coloring it out. If you're worried about it, just scribble it off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do these other flowers here real fast. There's no right or wrong. You can just leave them one color if you want, that's fine too. Just adding some color on here. Oops. Okay, I'm going to scribble a little bit more of this red on there. Go ahead and pick it up. Blend it in. That one came out a little bit darker, but that's alright. Flirty flamingo is getting dry. I think it's time to order another one. Okay, that's all for the, and you can tell that. So you see how the, let me make sure, see how the end of the brush is starting to get light color, like there's almost no color into it? That's how you tell it's getting dried. Okay, now for the green, I've got a light and dark. I'm just going to start, with the dark this time. I'm just going to scribble a little dark in those dark areas. Again, there's no right or wrong. I think I want a little bit more brightness in this one, so, and then I'm going to go ahead and use this fine tip to do these stems. The little leaves on the buds. Okay, then I'm going to go in with the light, and I'm just going to color in the rest of it, blend it in a little. I don't like that squeaky sound that the small tip makes. That's why I usually use the big one, but there we go. Okay, now I'm going to take the matching die. Now I'm going to cut it out on my die cut machine. And I will be right back. Okay, I've got this cut out. So let's go ahead and finish up this card. We've got this piece here. We're going to put dimensionals on the back of it. Where did I put them? Alright, we're going to take those backs off. Oh, it's stuck weird, oh well. It's on the back, luckily you won't see it. Alright, now we're going to line this up over on this side so that the edge here and here is the same. ahead and put that down. And we're going to add dimensionals on the back of this. Couple more. Now, for this section here, I don't think a dimensional will fit. So I think I'm going to cut a little bit of this edge. I'm going to use that. Alright, let's do that a little bit on this leaf here too, so it doesn't bend too much. Alright, so now we're going to figure out where we want it. Over here on this side. This one here is going to need a second dimensional on it because it's sticking off. Let's add that second dimensional. There we go. There's our card that we just made together. Oh, we forgot the rhinestones. Brand new pack. What did I do with the other ones? Oh, here they are. So all I've got left on here is big ones. So I put a large one over here. Put a medium one here. Then I got small ones. Put a small one here. And a small one in each one of these little flowers. There we go. Now it's finished. Isn't that pretty? Love this card. This one I attached it to the back of this, to the back of this. This one I had attached it down here after it had dimensionals. I like it better this way because you can see it better. Well, there you go. Well, thank you for joining me today at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper.